For years, something strange has been happening at the edge of our solar system. A group of icy objects far beyond Neptune are drifting in the same direction. Their orbits are aligned in a way that suggests a massive object is shepherding them into a clustered pattern. This alignment is statistically unlikely without an external gravitational influence. And no, it's not Neptune, it's not Pluto. It's something much farther, much heavier, and completely hidden. Astronomers call it Planet 9. A mysterious world that could be 5 to 10 times bigger than Earth, orbiting so far out that sunlight barely reaches it. And the weird part, there are new signs from old data, new discoveries, and strange objects that might finally point to where it's hiding. Back in 2016, something strange caught the attention of two astronomers, Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin. They weren't looking for a new planet, they were just trying to figure out why some objects in the outer solar system were acting weird. These weren't planets or comets, they were what we now call extreme trans-Neptunian objects, or ETNOs for short. But the odd thing was this. Many of them had orbits that weren't random. Instead of being scattered in all directions, their paths were clustered. They were all tilted in a similar way, and they all seemed to point in the same general direction in space. That's not supposed to happen. In a stable solar system, small objects that far out should have chaotic, scattered orbits, not neatly aligned ones. The only explanation that made sense at the time, something massive was tugging on them. Brown and Batygin ran the numbers. If this mystery planet existed, it would have to be at least 5 times more massive than Earth, maybe up to 10. And its orbit would be huge, something like 400 to 800 times farther from the Sun than Earth. For comparison, Neptune is only about 30 times farther than Earth, so this thing wouldn't just be far, it would be in a part of the solar system we've barely looked at. That kicked off a worldwide hunt. Telescopes began scanning the skies trying to find this invisible giant. Astronomers started going through old data hoping they might have already captured it without realizing. Even amateurs joined in, using online databases, algorithms, and even citizen science platforms to look for anything suspicious. The idea of Planet 9 didn't stay unchallenged for long. In science it never does. As soon as the theory gained attention, researchers around the world started trying to test it. So what did they do? They ran simulations, a lot of them. Using powerful models, researchers recreated the solar system, but this time with a hidden 9th planet far beyond Neptune. Some researchers argued that the clustering might not be caused by a hidden planet at all. It might just be a coincidence. If you only look in one direction, you'll only find objects pointing that way. It's like standing in a forest with a flashlight, pointing it at one spot and saying, all the trees are in that direction. Part of the problem is how incredibly faint Planet 9 would be. If it exists, it's likely hundreds of times farther from the Sun than Earth is, so it reflects almost no sunlight. At that distance, even a Neptune-sized object would be nearly invisible to most telescopes unless you know exactly where to look. So astronomers started digging into archive data from IRAS from the 1980s, Akari, a Japanese infrared satellite from the 2000s, and WISE, a 2010 NASA infrared mission that scanned the entire sky. In 2021, a team analyzed data from the Zwicky Transient Facility. The result, they ruled out over half the region where Planet 9 was expected to be. In early 2025, a fresh analysis of both IRAS and Akari archives spotted something strange. It was small, it was faint, but it was there in both sets of data about 20 years apart, and more importantly, it had moved. This motion was the key. Galaxies don't move like that, stars don't, noise doesn't. But distant objects in the solar system do, especially ones as far out as Planet 9 is predicted to be. But the excitement didn't last long because the orbit didn't match. Planet 9's predicted orbit is elongated, yes, but relatively flat. This new object, it was tilted over 120 degrees. That's basically upside down compared to everything else. Mike Brown, one of the original Planet 9 theorists, came out quickly to clarify. He said it's definitely not our Planet 9. While attention was on the infrared mystery object, another curveball came from the far reaches of the solar system. This time not from old data, but from a brand new discovery, 2017 of 2001. This thing was on a ridiculously elongated path, stretching out to nearly 1,600 astronomical units at its farthest point from the Sun. But then came the closer analysis and things didn't line up. Its orbit didn't match the same clustering that the original Planet 9 theory was built on. It wasn't aligned with the rest, it didn't reinforce the pattern, it broke it. Some researchers began suggesting that maybe the pattern itself is a statistical illusion, a kind of observational bias caused by where and how we search the sky. They argued that 2017 of 2001 is exactly what you'd expect if there wasn't a Planet 9. Let's say Planet 9 is real. The next question is simple. How did it get there? Because it shouldn't be there. According to how planets normally form, there simply wasn't enough material that far out in the solar system to build something so massive. One of the leading ideas is that Planet 9 formed much closer to the Sun, maybe somewhere around the same region as Jupiter or Saturn. In that chaos, it's possible that Planet 9 got kicked out, flung into the outer solar system by a gravitational interaction with one of the gas giants. But there's another scenario, one that's even more interesting. Instead of being born in our solar system and thrown outward, maybe Planet 9 was never ours to begin with. In that crowded nursery, planets and debris would have been flying everywhere. And in those chaotic conditions, it's entirely possible that our sun stole a planet from another star. If Planet 9 was originally orbiting another star and our sun passed close enough at the right time, it could have been pulled into our system. That's where the Vera C. Rubin Observatory comes in. Located in Chile, this observatory hasn't been fully operational for long, but when it is, it could change everything. Rubin is different from most telescopes. Equipped with an 8.4-meter Simony survey telescope and the world's largest digital camera, it will survey the entire southern sky, night after night in incredible detail. And it's exactly the kind of project that could finally spot a slow-moving faint object like Planet 9. Based on current estimates, Rubin could detect objects as faint as magnitude 24. If Planet 9 is within the predicted mass range and anywhere inside about 800 astronomical units, it should be bright enough to fall within Rubin's reach. In other words, Rubin is more than just another telescope in the search. It's the final test, the one that could end the mystery one way or another. But what Rubin gives us is something we haven't had before: a clean, deep, continuous survey of the southern sky. And that's exactly where Planet 9 is most likely hiding according to the latest models. So for the first time in years, this isn't just about chasing a theory. It's about reaching a decision point. If Planet 9 exists, we're about to know. If it doesn't, we can finally let it go. Because it's not just about finding a new planet, it's about finishing the story.